Over the years, Celtic and Rangers have often battled it out to sign players. The Mo Johnson saga in 1989 will always be the most infamous, but there was another transfer tug of war in the summer of 2015 that saw Celtic sign a player simply to troll their Glasgow rivals. That player was Scott Allan. Scott Allan came through the youth ranks at Dundee United, impressing enough to earn a move to then Premier League side West Brom in 2011. His time in England consisted mainly of being sent out on loan to various lower league clubs before he moved back to Scottish football in 2014 when he signed for Hibs.
Scott, we're here in the Goalmouth at Easter Road Stadium to mark the announcement that you have signed for the club on a 2-year deal. Your thoughts on that move?
Yeah, just really excited to get my career back on track and hopefully taking Hibs back to where they should belong.
The Edinburgh club beat Rangers to Allan's signature to the surprise of many. Scott Allan had grown up a Rangers fan, and it was believed he would jump at the chance to earn a dream move to Ibrox. Allan himself admitted, "I grew up 2 miles from Ibrox and always hoped I'd get the chance to play there. I'm a Rangers supporter and it's something I've always wanted to do. My role model as a football player was Paul Gascoigne because I used to go and watch him every week at Rangers." However, this wasn't the same Rangers Allan had grown up with. The original club had gone bankrupt and died, and now, 2 years later, found themselves in the second tier of Scottish football. Hibs had just been relegated from the top flight and were looking to bounce back with automatic promotion. To make things even more complicated, Hearts were also relegated from the top tier that season, so all 3 of Rangers, Hibs and Hearts were set to compete in the second tier for the singular automatic promotion spot. Asked to explain why he rejected a move to the Ali McCoist managed Rangers in favour of the Alan Stubbs managed Hibs, Allan would state, "I believe I learned a lot from my time down south, both personally and professionally, but I had my mind set on a move back home to Scotland. At this point in my career, I want to play football as regularly as possible and be closer to home, and the move here to Hibs ticks all the boxes." The midfielder would excel all season at Easter Road and was a constant thorn in Rangers' side during head-to-head games. He was a particular standout as Hibs thrashed Rangers 4-0 in a December 2014 league encounter, being awarded the Man of the Match award for his performance. Despite this, it would be Hearts who would win the championship, and neither Hibs nor Rangers managed to gain promotion, both failing to navigate through the playoffs. Allan was essentially the VIP of the league, being named in the Team of the Season and winning the PFA Scotland's Players Player of the Year award for the lower leagues. A summer transfer seemed inevitable. Rangers appointed Englishman Mark Warburton as manager in June 2015, and it appeared that the club's main transfer target that summer was Scott Allan. The Ibrox club were absolutely desperate to gain promotion to the top flight at this stage, and figured stealing away their main promotion rival's key player would be a smart move. And it would have been a smart move, but a major problem emerged for Rangers. And that problem was Celtic. The Parkhead club weren't spending big in the years Rangers were out of the top flight. However, a transfer fee for Scott Allan was no big outlay. Rangers made 3 transfer offers for Scott Allan that summer, going as high as £280,000. While Hibs were open to business, they were not open to selling Allan to their main rivals and rejected all 3 bids from Rangers. Celtic saw an opportunity to humiliate their arch rivals and jumped at it. The club bid around the same amount as Rangers, roughly £280,000, but also included young midfielder Liam Henderson going on loan in the opposite direction as part of the deal. Hibs accepted the offer, and one of the most controversial transfer deals in 21st century Scottish football was complete. It worked out on numerous levels for Hibs. They received money, they blocked their main player from benefiting their promotion rivals, and it was Liam Henderson who sent in the corner for the stoppage time winning goal against Rangers in the Scottish Cup final at the end of the season that allowed Hibs to win the trophy for the first time in 114 years. There was fury directed at Scott Allan from the Rangers support. Former SFA Chief Executive Gordon Smith was a big fan of Allan, just as he was a big fan of Rangers. He had been talking up Allan in the press while he was linked with the Glasgow side during the early part of the summer, calling him someone I picked out every time. He was outstanding, very creative, very good on the ball. However, Smith's tone would dramatically change when the move to Celtic was confirmed, saying, "Ultimately, it is the 23-year-old Allan himself who is going to have to live with the consequences of his decision. As a lifelong Light Blues fan, he surely knows what he has done. The Ibrox support, of which he was part, will regard him as nothing more than a turncoat." Reflecting on the abuse he suffered, Allan would later discuss the reaction from Rangers fans. "That whole first year, even still to this day, I still get a lot from Rangers fans because I went to Celtic. The first month of that, leaving the house even to get petrol, I'd had my wee boy at that point, and there were guys rolling their windows down while I'm holding a baby, shouting things out the window." Allan was introduced to Celtic fans on the pitch before an August 2015 league game with Inverness, and received a thunderous response from the fans at Celtic Park due to all of the controversy.
For the first time, and he is getting a very, very good reception, as you would expect. And delight for Scott Allan, wearing the green and white hoops, the number 19, and a good way to start the game. A new signing, and he takes the applause of the Celtic support, and that is the best possible way to start his Celtic career.
In truth, this was probably the high point of his stay at Celtic. Allan would barely feature throughout the season, and in total made just 17 appearances during a 4-year spell at the club, never scoring a goal and frequently being sent out on loan. He was a creative midfielder with a great eye for a pass, but there were simply too many better players ahead of him in the pecking order. Celtic were criticised for the signing, taking a promising young talent at 23 years old and barely giving him any game time, simply to spite their rivals. It can be pointed out that Celtic signed another young Scottish midfielder around this same time for a similar fee, Ryan Christie, who would go on to become a first-team regular for the club before making a move to the English Premier League. It just didn't work out for Scott Allan. Despite his excellent technique and vision, he was never really a naturally great athlete and always lacked pace. For the minuscule transfer fee alone, Scott Allan was a punt worth taking for Celtic. Yet perhaps what really made it all worth it was the absolute fury it caused amongst the Rangers support. Allan will never be remembered as a club legend at Celtic Park, but he will never go down as a player for Rangers at all. He has had a good career in Scottish football, but his 2015 summer transfer saga is what Scott Allan will always be mainly remembered for.